Podcast, WATP.
Let's talk about your buddy, Michael Ray Bauer, fellow Nickelodeon star from the 90s, of course, Donkeylips on Salute Your Shorts. And now he is doing a stream. He doesn't have a job. People have told him he should get a job because he can't pay his bills. He disagrees. He thinks he should just ask for money. And now he's offended by the word e-beggar.
Mm-hmm.
He sees this word showing up. He's just like, whoa, guys, there's a lot of name calling going on in this Dabbleverse. I don't know how I feel about it. You want to start off with our first clip? Do you have anything to set up here?
Just that I find him enjoyable because it's the anti-John. He often says so many of the things you always wanted to hear John say, but never would. And since it's like, he's like John's stand-in, it's like a shitty valley apartment studio, less than 400 feet, stuffed in the corner. You know you're seeing it all, and he's just free associating with no microphone, looking greasier and greasier. But every once in a while, he says the exact opposite thing of John, and I find that very satisfying. Like in this clip.
I don't know shit about shit. That's just facts.
Mm-hmm.
There's moments in Warren K. I love you, brother. Thank you for everything. But I know a lot of things at certain points in my life, or I think I know a lot of things. Then I'm proven incorrect, and then I learn something different. And then I realize I don't know a lot of things. And that I don't know shit.
I mean, that is a very wise approach to life right there.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he has that awareness makes it difficult. We've talked about this before. When we find someone in the rough, we're like, oh my gosh, you got to hear this person's podcast. You got to hear what they're up to. And then they respond by going, yeah, these guys are right. That's not a good effort on my part. You're like, oh, okay, well, good on you. You get it.
Mm-hmm. He gives off the vibe, and I think we'll learn more as we continue to follow him. He gives, I have a feeling if he had everything he wanted and had the money that he's asking for, it still wouldn't work out in the same fashion. I get that feeling.
Well, he's very excited because he made the news. And yes, I did just speed up the audio to 1.25 times because he's a slow talker. So we'll push through here.
Oh, yeah. There we go. I made the news, y'all. I made the wrestling news. You would think I would have made like the TMZ news or like acting news.
Nope.
But I made the wrestling news.
Noosh.
For my last video where I talk about my health issues, how the doctor basically called me disabled in my current form, limited mobility, heart issues, a bunch of other problems, blood pressure, anxiety, stress. I've had strokes. I've had this. I've had that.
Speech impediment. Did your doctor mention that? No, okay.
Slight headache.
Now they're looking into surgery.
Hysterical pregnancy. A little bit.
For a vein, like a stent or something in my heart, and I'm freaked out, right? So the other day I made a video, and you guys can watch it on the channel. It'll be up till today, but I'll probably put it for members only in the next couple of days. Why? I don't know. I get anxiety. I put things behind paywall. I freak out.
So he posts these videos and he explains that he even gives them clickbait titles to get people to click on them. But then people do click on them, and then they clip them for their shows, and they talk about them, and he gets very nervous about that and takes them down so you can't find him anymore.
Are we supposed to be celebrating that he made the news for being declared mostly handicapped?
Yeah. Isn't this great? Even the wrestling news is reporting on the fact that I'm disabled now.
We did it.
Cool.
We made the goal.
No such thing as bad publicity, Adam.
I guess so.
Well, you said he made the goal. Good news, he does make the goal. He's got a goal of $60 to make on his 3-hour-long live stream, which, okay, I'm glad he could pull that off. So this is him. Once he's reached the goal, I'll just play this for a little bit because, Adam, you watched through all of this and it gets a little repetitive.
We are now into my final half hour since we reached the goal. And let's go Dabbleverse dabbling. Y'all.
Isn't that interesting? He reached the goal, so now he's in his final half hour. Who else does? Oh, right, Aaron Imholt. Yes, it's that exact
Oh,
format.
let's go Dabbleverse dabbling. People still don't know what the Dabbleverse is, but let's go Dabbleverse dabbling, okay? Let's watch a video or show from Doom, the Amazing Clipper. And this was an interesting video that I watched the other day. It's about Chad Zumock talking about digital panhandling. I guess the Dabbleverse or whoever's in the Dabbleverse or these people, they're questioning, oh, Doom, don't copyright me, please. I won't copyright you. Don't copyright me.
What?
But can they copyright when they use clips from other people?
Don't copyright me, producer Chris.
But
Too
I
late.
guess the Dabbleverse and the entertainers in the Dabbleverse, you know, they talk shit to each other. They call each other e-beggars, this and that. They're not funny. They're not this. You know, they create that whole nasty environment where they talk to each other. And, you know, they give personal attacks or insults. And, you know, they make money off of each other with a lot of the bad shit. To some people, that's fun. Not really to me. But every once in a while, there's an interesting topic or storyline that maybe I want to cover.
Okay. So he's kind of couching this that I'm not one of these guys. I watch these Dabbleverse videos and they make fun of people and we're going to be making fun of Chad Zumock, but I'm not one of these guys.
It's toxic.
Yeah, right.
He's also doing a very John like, what is this digital panhandling?
Right.
What? I couldn't possibly know what that means. And he feigns ignorance for like the next hour, trying to pretend that he doesn't see a similarity between what he does, what people do in the Dabbleverse, and OnlyFans or a pretty girl that's selling pictures. It's all the same, buddy. I hate to break it to you, but it's all the same boat, and there is no special distinction for your unique brand of entertainment.
Well, let's see if he agrees with you on that.
Now they're all afraid of this fucking word, and the Dabbleverse is creating fear with this fucking word. And now people are going to be defending this word, digital panhandler, moving forward on all of their live streams. And it created probably a ton of more content just for this word of being accused that they're possibly a digital panhandler. What the fuck? This is the Dabbleverse to a T. That's why I need to stay away from it. But I'm going to say at the end of the day, I am not a digital panhandler.
Okay.
I try to create entertainment, content, tell my stories, perform, entertain, and I accept donations, super chats,
What?
or anything you're willing to give
But-
per that entertainment and that source.
I am sober and off drugs. But if you have any pills, grass,
Reminds me of California Sober, the way that
I mean-
he's not a digital panhandler.
but not even he didn't even notice the segue. Just completely smooth without any sense of it. Right there.
Everyone in the Dabbleverse are like, I can't be in it because they're talking about how everyone's begging for money, and I don't want to be a part of that. By the way, you can give us Venmo and PayPal, and let's get into some O&A talk. He knows a lot about Opie and Anthony, which of course I enjoy.
Fill us in.
Anthony is talking about Opie. Yeah, I don't really know too much about that world, but I knew they were radio hosts back in the days, like in New Jersey or Philadelphia on the East Coast. And really haven't watched too much of the stuff that's going on nowadays. I do know that that guy Opie lives in a house or a penthouse in New York, and he's trying to make content.
Nailed it. That's all you need to know.
You are up to speed.
Pretty
He's
much
got a
it.
really nice place, and he's trying to make content. Yes.
The only person in this 3.5-hour broadcast that Bauer condescends to even slightly is Opie Hughes.
That's awesome. You got to love that. So now he starts talking about his childhood stardom and how much money he was paid by Nickelodeon. You and I talked about this a little bit last week when we were covering him, that it's, you know, you're not getting rich by being on a Nickelodeon show when you're 11 years old, probably.
Or what? I don't know. But Semi-Furious Buttanoid said, yeah, 1990 Nickelodeon child stars were pulling in $1 million per episode. I think that person was being sarcastic. So maybe not. They had my back. Yeah, like 1990 child actors were pulling in $1 million an episode. Thank you very much for defending me. And I'm just going to say this. You guys can clip it if you want. I made $1,500 per episode on Nickelodeon Salute Your Shorts.
I make more than that doing MLC. This guy's a loser. He's a pathological loser.
Under an AFTRA contract We only did 26 episodes total. And that was in the span of 2.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
I did the math on that. That means he made $39,000 his entire time being on Salute Your Shorts gross. He's going to explain it's not even that much.
I also had a manager and an agent. Agents require 10%. Managers require anywhere between 5 and 15%.
You
by
paid yours
legal
5,
law
right?
that they can get. My manager got 15%.
No. That's not
I
great.
had a feeling.
it's not great.
So automatically out of my $1,500, that's 25% gone. Then I live in California.
It's cheap
The
though, right?
taxes and the rates are through the roof, even in the early 90s.
No, but he's not a digital panhandler. He's just talking about how he doesn't make any money and woe is me and all these expenses and very little pay. This is just normal content, right?
Imagine if he finished this rant by announcing that he is off to ride on his boat and write his one-man show, or trying to pass himself off as some kind of like millionaire. Because this is a
Right.
very John-like rant, but then John tries to say, you know, he's the admirable, and he's the king of the world. This guy, I feel like he exaggerates a lot of things, but he isn't exaggerating. This is very factual.
Well, John loves to talk about how Howard ripped him off and didn't give him any money. Only because he can then say,
Right.
Leno gave me tons of money and I became a successful millionaire on television.
Mm-hmm.
That's the part that Donkeylips doesn't have.
And it's interesting because they are trolling him. No one thinks he was making $1 million an episode. Like,
Of course.
Yeah. So he knows what's happening here. He's a little more aware than I think he lets on, at least about what he's doing here in this Dabbleverse. About his own health issues, I don't know.
Right. Here's another clip that you wanted us to check out, and it comes to ebegging.
Oh, this is great.
So is that ebegging? When I'm providing a service? But why does all this hurt me? I don't know. Inherently, I want to be loved by everybody, and that's never, ever going to happen. People hate my voice. People hate the way I talk. People hate my stories. Whenever I say something that's stupid or whatever, they have to correct me.
They're not thrilled by smell.
I can't move my neck.
My doctor's always giving me bad news.
Seriously, they got to debunk me. But
I love the posters behind him because he's got V for Vendetta. I don't know if he was in that movie. Did he have was he an extra
No,
or
he had a
something?
Goonies poster, and I don't think he's in that.
Okay. Because then he's got next to that, V for Vendetta, huge movie. And then he's got Focus, the web series, which is the worst poster I've ever seen, but it looks like he was in that.
He was in the Raiders.
Right.
He did play for
sometimes
him.
people use me for press as well. Gain whatever you can from him. Let's make it a story and gain whatever press you can.
Can you get any press from talking about Donkeylips?
I mean,
I don't think that's true.
We're trying.
no. Yeah.
Hasn't worked yet.
I just love that he was so hung up on this e-begging phrase for like an hour, and this
Yep.
is 4 days later, and he's still right there. He's wrapped in the middle of it. It's a little performative, but he can't wrap his mind around it, and he's just trying to raise money off it. And I think he sees the Dabbleverse as a place for him to get some new fans.
Isn't that interesting that his biggest concern is being called a digital panhandler? He's like, and they throw around this insult that is, guys, wild. You might want to turn off the stream right now if you're not ready for this. They're calling each other e-beggars and digital panhandlers.
Throwing around the hard E.
Can you believe that? And he goes, now, people might think that I'm doing that, but I'm providing a service where I humiliate myself on the internet for lulz and a little scratch, if you don't mind.
When you're a comic, when you're a musician, you play gigs. You play enough gigs where some are incredible and others you're passing around a hat.
Yep.
Sometimes you pass around a hat. You don't put on airs about it. You don't make distinctions between you and the busker outside and
He feels
shit on the
guilty.
busker outside because of what you're doing is so noble. Come on, man. It's all the same thing. Busking, donating to an OnlyFans. That's the part that I think might start to get frustrating because what we'll find is that he's not willing to give up entertainment and what he thinks is Hollywood.
Right. He always says he's
for a
an
job.
entertainer, and that's why he makes money. But yeah, he really is concerned about his image for some reason, which I would think would be the least of his concerns.
Yeah, because it's like his image, but not how he looks.
Right, that's what I
Or
mean. Yeah.
what you
Like,
see,
he'll
it's
humiliate
so-
himself on the internet and drool all over himself and not be able to talk and talk about his health problems and what a mess he is mentally. And then he goes, but then there's some people who think I just do this for money. Yeah. So whatever, everyone thinks you're humiliating yourself for money. I have one more clip on here that you grabbed about Clarissa explains it all.
Mm-hmm.
What's her name? Melissa Joan Hart?
Melissa Joan Hart. This is like,
Very beautiful girl.
yeah, it's like, this is like what John thinks the Kate Meany tapes come off like. He thinks this is him.
This
He
is
doesn't
sad.
understand. Yeah, it's
Did you ever know anybody from the cast of Clarissa Explains It All? I did. Me and Melissa Joan Hart, we were friends for many years, and we would hold hands, and we would go to events, couple of events.
Whoa.
And we were younger, but I can technically say she was like my official first girlfriend or crush or
Okay, those are two very different things. My first girlfriend, a crush, or just a girl I had a bunch of posters of in my room that I would whack off to.
whatever you want to call it.
This is so sad right here.
She was like my official first girlfriend or crush or holding hands with person.
We're falling quickly.
Not since the British invasion have I heard someone brag about holding someone's hand. The fuck? Holding hands with person.
He was like a
And-
father figure to her.
Yeah. I went to her wedding many years later, but
No.
Oh, boy. She didn't want to hold
Right in the
hands
heart.
with me then.
It's so
Old grimy.
So, what's your assessment on Michael Ray Bauer? Is he interesting to watch? I know that you're comparing him with Stuttering John and trying to find parallels and things where Michael Ray Bauer is obviously a better guy overall.
To some extent, I think so. Other people have been covering him for longer, and I think these tragic flaws of his will reveal themselves. I can't help but have sympathy because I do know what it's like when people just assume like there is no difference between if you're an actor, you just must make a ton of money every time you work. People don't understand all the different things, and specifically that those Nickelodeon kids got really, really screwed for a really, really long time, and that it was 2 years of his life that he's still talking about. It was 2 years, 26 episodes, $19,000. Like, that's defined his life. And of course, I find that fascinating, and seeing how he handles it. I think, like I was saying earlier, the more affection I feel for him, the worse it'll get, and the more he'll disappoint me. And I'll see that if I were to devote my life to just making this guy get on his feet and get his shit together, it would not work out. He does not really want that.
That's interesting. It seems to me like you're saying he needs to get over the fact that he's in Hollywood and an entertainer and move on with his life.
I mean, yeah.
Because he's still holding on to this thing he did in the early 90s. It's like, yeah, we know. I recognize you. Hey, what's up? Good to see you.
And there is an interest in it. And
Sure.
if you can use that interest to build an audience, do it. But he's not really doing a show. And then he like shits on women with cleavage. He really doesn't like that. And he uses religion in ways
weird.
that make me uncomfortable. Like, he only really brings it up being blessed and what a blessing this is when it's about money. Then
I
suddenly
see.
he's a very pious person.
Yeah, he's not blessed
So
when it comes to his health.
or
whoa.
interested in doing anything about it.
What's the problem with
Anti-cleavage?
cleavage?
What are we talking about here? What's going on? I built a podcast on that.
Yeah, it's weird the lines he takes. I would like to keep exploring him, especially as he goes down this Dabbleverse. It's so funny. It was too long to show, but Chad, when he was watching Chad, did the exact same thing that he did. Chad was like, I'm not an e-beggar. When do I ever beg for money? And it
hilarious.
cut to
All these guys.
Bauer's doing the same bit. And Chad's just charmed because Bauer called him an entertainer. He said, those entertainers in the Dabbleverse. And Chad went, oh, hello. Good to see you.
Who are these podcasts?